Welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous, where we live, we learn, we grow. As you can see, this is the Halloween edition. And so we are going to do an interview today with Miss Rita Hodgson and her subject, Jason. Should I call him a subject? Her artist, Jason? What should
My
I call him?
muse.
Her muse, Jason. And she's going to do some Halloween makeup. So enjoy the episode. We will be right back. I want to position the camera so that you can see the amazing work she's about to do on him. All right? And we're back. So we are going to watch Miss Rita work her magic on Jason, and at the same time, because we do interview style here on Confessions of Being Fabulous, I'm still going to ask her some questions about being a makeup artist. She's also an esthetician. She's also a friend of mine. We're in a similar organization in our community, so I know that she has a lot that she's balancing. And here on Confessions of Being Fabulous, we embrace the journey. We don't hide it. We're not ashamed of it. We embrace all of it. We embrace the mistakes that we've made. And so we're going to get into that on this interview. All right, so without further ado, I'll let her get started.
Okay.
This is our muse, Jason. Jason,
Yes.
do you want to say any words before you officially get your Halloween face painted? No. He's like, no, let's just start. All right, so let's start a little bit with what we're going to be doing today. It is Halloween season, so I thought it would be kind of cool to do an episode where someone is going to get their face done specifically for a Halloween themed party or something like that. So what are we doing with Jason today?
Well, we're doing a simple spider web,
Okay.
and then a spider.
Okay.
So really quick, really easy. So this is again the handsome Jason Crawford. He's my muse for today. So we're just gonna do a simple lines. Okay. And then we just join them like so. And then we just continue to draw the lines. So it's starting to look more and more like a spider web. Right?
Okay.
So,
Are you
yeah.
scared, Jason? Don't be scared. So while you're doing that, I'm always curious to know, now this is makeup that is specifically for Halloween, so obviously you're not gonna do, like if you were doing my face, there would be a lot of different things happening, foundation and all this other stuff, but are the rules the same when it comes to applying makeup in terms of like a person's face maybe being freshly washed, or you're still young, so you got that nice collagen,
right?
Where you got that nice firm,
right?
That smooth. How much of a factor is that when you're doing someone's makeup and the person has, I'll just say, good skin for lack of a better word?
So
Does that really matter?
Yeah, so I would say for face painting, you don't necessarily have to have a freshly washed face, because I'll do this at parties, like kids' parties, and, so I have to do whatever comes at me. There's no time to cleanse and all that stuff first. So not necessarily now makeup for an event like a wedding or party, for like more beauty type makeup. Yes, you definitely need a freshly cleansed face, also moisturized. The better canvas you have, the better the makeup looks, right? So yeah, it's always important to take care of your skin.
Okay. And how did you get into makeup specifically? We'll talk about the other part of your business, but doing makeup, and which came first? Were you an esthetician first and then makeup, or were you a makeup artist and then you added?
Funny enough, I did makeup first. So I was one of the, when my girlfriends were going out, everyone would ask me to do their makeup to go out. So that's just kind of how it started. And then it just morphed into me going to cosmetology school to get my esthetician license, because I've always loved skincare. So that's kind of, how that journey started.
And were you into makeup like as a girl growing up? Were you like a girly girl?
I was not. I was a tomboy. However,
interesting.
Yeah, but my mom was always into makeup. Even
Okay.
now, she does not leave the house without a beat face.
Got it.
She's just, that's just who she is.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I got into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have a friend that can do your makeup. Like, hey, what you doing, sis? I got somewhere to be at 7. I'm coming now. I'm sure that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, in terms of, again, going back to Halloween, is this something that even happens for you? Like, do you get people reaching out around Halloween? We still have about a week. Well, not even. Halloween is on Thursday. We got about, 6 days before Halloween. So do you have, like, kind of a book of business of people? Because I know in New York, we're on the Jersey side of the bridge, but we're basically right next to New York. And in New York, Halloween is a big deal.
Yes.
There are parties, there are parades, there are, tons of celebratory things to do on Halloween. So I know for some people, they kind of, look forward to that time of year because there's business.
Yeah.
Do you kind of market during that time or have people?
Yeah, I mean, most of our business is through word of mouth. So I work with another person. Okay. Joey the Clown, and she kind of is in charge of booking our events and whatnot. So yeah, I would say that we do like schools. A lot of schools do trunk or treats now. Yes. So we've been asked to, go to trunk or treats to do face painting, schools, community events, things like that. So yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Okay, nice. And so one of the things we like to do on this channel, again, Confessions of Being Fabulous, when I came up with the name, which was actually a long time before I ever started this channel, which is a story in and of itself, which we'll do for another video. But the idea behind this channel is all about celebrating the journey of becoming, celebrating the journey of, something that you may be doing and, maybe you don't have all the answers just yet, but you move forward. You move forward and you start down the path. So I like to talk about the beginning. Okay. So the beginning part of you being a makeup artist, was there ever a time where, I don't know, you messed up somebody's face or, anything embarrassing that maybe you weren't prepared to share that back in the day, but it's been some years now. You're a success story now. You have clientele. You can talk about some of those moments and maybe it might help someone else just starting out. If you had a moment like that, would you share with us? And then how do you kind of get through it so that you can be better in the future? Yeah, there's been, I could think of 2 distinct times. Now this spans over 20 years, right? So there was one time where I did makeup for a photo shoot and I forgot some key makeup items that I needed. I left them at home, so I had to improvise. And I was not happy with how it ended up, with how it came out. But the client was okay with it. But me being, who I am, I just, I knew it wasn't what I wanted it to be. You know. So, and we're our worst critics, so we're gonna see what the average person, they're like, I find that we are the ones that are in our heads. It, becomes this really psychological issue because like you said, the client is happy, the client was happy. Other people maybe even complimented the client, further validating that the makeup was fine. But I think that sometimes, and I know this has been the case for me, if I have made a mistake as a professional, and even if the client is like, oh, no, it's fine, no big deal. Like, I am distraught. Yes, absolutely. I am distraught. Yes. So how do you kind of bounce back for people that maybe are just starting out? They might be saying, I want to be a makeup artist. They're going through this process of the beginning stages where, like you said, it might be friends, it might be family. How do you bounce back from, your first mistake? Because newsflash, people, you're gonna make mistakes. And that's what I was gonna say. You're going to make mistakes. And it's just a matter of don't beat yourself up, and
just keep going. You know, learn from your mistakes and be better prepared for the next gig. You know, and that's really all you can do.
Yeah. And I think it also helps to, if that happens, if you have a gracious client, you know, like someone who, now in your case, it's a little different because they thought it was fine, but let's say it was a scenario where it wasn't fine and they didn't like it. You know, I think there's something to be said about the client can be gracious, but I think that you attract that graciousness when you yourself are gracious.
Right.
You know, so if you have made a mistake, the way that you even point that out, the way that you know you bring it to someone's attention, or let's say the client points it out, like there's an energy that has to kind of be in the mix so that there's not like, you know, like bumping heads.
Right.
So to me that's important as well, how it's handled.
Yes.
Right.
I agree. I think that you know, if your client is not happy, you can always, I mean, depending on what the business is, you know, provide a discount maybe for the next service, or, you know, at that point it would be a matter of hearing your client out, seeing what the issue is and how we can resolve it mutually, right? Because you don't want to give away your services for free.
Absolutely not.
Right? But, you know, there are times that you may need to, you know, make a little you may need to compromise, you know, in certain situations, and that's, you know, that's pretty much it. So this is the spider, quick and easy spider web.
Nice.
Okay.
And I asked him because he does a football, right? Football game after this. I'm like, you gonna keep this on?
Yeah.
Under your helmet, and he gave me a face, so I don't know if this is gonna stay on. But I like.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And so this, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, Halloween is a huge deal here in, and maybe not just New York, I would say on the Jersey side, at least up here in North Jersey as well. I know that where we're going, it's like a whole, somewhere in Bergenfield. Yeah, the whole block. Bergenfield, and then there's another.
There's Hackensack.
Right.
Yeah,
just a lot. So it's a big deal. So people literally make appointments to have, you know, whatever it is done. If we had more time, I might have officially booked her so I could have a whole cat situation, but I wanted to just provide a snapshot. So we are going to let Jason go, and then Rita and I are going to continue our conversation because we want to talk a little bit about her other business. She is also an esthetician, and I know the foundation, as I believe she said, for makeup going a certain way is skincare. Absolutely. Now, like I said, you have collagen because he's like, what is that?
Perfect skin.
You have perfect skin. But as you get older, you might need to call somebody like Rita because collagen production is just not out in these streets the way that it used to be. So we'll get into that. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much, Jason, for letting us use your face. We'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back to Confessions of Being Fabulous. So we just, you guys watched her do makeup for Jason, and actually he was right when he was about to leave. He asked for one more little, because he's on his way to a football game, so he asked for one little cool football with some flames coming out, and I didn't capture that, but it was really, really cute. So like I said, people really get into this. I feel like both genders, you know, ages, like it doesn't matter. Halloween is just a time for makeup, so I thought it would be cool to do this episode around this Halloween holiday that we have. But now we're going to transition just for a few minutes and talk about Miss Rita being an esthetician. I know that it's something that as people get older, I find that they become more interested in skincare because now they're like, okay, how do I preserve? You know, Jason, he takes for granted right now that he just has this tight, this tight, smooth skin.
Absolutely.
But at a point, and he's a guy, so maybe it's a little bit different for guys, but I know certainly for women, you know, we are interested. Like, how do I keep this skin tight? How do I, keep it nice and firm? How my pores are big? How do I make them, smaller? Is that even possible? Collagen production. So, without further ado, I would love to introduce this, concept of being an esthetician. What exactly does that mean? Okay. And then what does that look like in terms of your day-to-day work with, clients that are choosing to engage in that practice?
Sure. So I got licensed as an esthetician in 2019. And I actually took a pivot from corporate America. I had an opportunity to take a buyout package at the time. And I thought, okay, this would be a good time for me to pivot and try something different, something new. Skincare is something that I've always loved. Aside from makeup, I started with makeup, as we talked about earlier, but so skincare was kind of a natural transition from that, because if you don't have the right canvas to put makeup on, then it just won't look good, right? So you have to have, good skin. You have to take care of your skin so that when you do apply makeup, it looks so much better and fresher, and you get that glow, and all of that. And interestingly enough, you talked about as people get older, they, that's when they develop this interest in taking care of their skin, but it really starts when you're young. Because, the sun damage, being out in the sun and, all the things that we do to it, it takes 15 to 20 years for all of that to start coming out.
Wow.
So, that's why it's so important from, as young as, 7, 8, 9, always put sunscreen is the number one skincare product,
including for Black people. If you don't mind me adding that.
Yes, brown skin burns too. All skin tones. Yes. That's
trying to explain that to people.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. It's that's been a myth, for so long. Brown skin doesn't burn. Yes, it does. Right. We get, melanoma. We get, the hyperpigmentation. It may come out differently, but sun damage is definitely prevalent in brown skin tones.
Absolutely. So if somebody comes to you, because to your point, we should have been thinking about this when we was 20, 21, 22. Yes. But admittedly, a lot of us were not. So fast forward, we're late 30s, we're 40s, maybe 50s, and we find out there's someone called an esthetician. So what is that first conversation typically like if they are coming to you? Is it for something specific, or is it just for kind of like, an assessment?
Maintenance. So I would say it's a mix. It's a mixture of the two. I think, 50 to 60% of my clients do come with me with a specific skin issue that they're looking to resolve, right? And then the remaining, 40, 50% are really just looking to maintain their current skin status, if you will, and, just making sure that they're taking care of their skin. So as they get older, just trying to preserve the sexy for as long as they can.
Got it. I know I had to actually schedule an appointment. I had an appointment, and then something came up with my little one. I don't remember what it was.
That's life.
That's life.
Yes.
Life be life, and especially mom life. Mom life. Yes. Mom life is a different kind of life.
Yes, absolutely.
But I have not rescheduled yet, and I'm going to. But I can say for me, when I reached out, I think it was this summer. So what I noticed is that for me in the summertime, I feel like right along kind of like my cheekbones, the pores just look huge. And so a while ago, somebody had said, well, you have the type of skin, maybe in the summer specifically, I think they said use like a foaming cleanser, and something about the foaming cleanser is supposed to help make, So my question is, for people that maybe have times of year, just in general, the pores are bigger. Is that something that can be rectified and kind of like permanently reversed if they're seeing an esthetician regularly? Or is that just something, like you're born with bigger pores and that's just what happens?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with skincare is that it's hard to permanently rectify something, but you can minimalize some, the pores, for example. You can definitely, through using different enzymes, masks, you can absolutely minimize your pores. Will they disappear? Probably not. But there is definitely options to treat the skin so that pores look smaller, and things like that, for sure. Yeah.
Now, one thing I have to note, guys, we're sitting here. This light in front of us is bright. Your skin is amazing. No,
Thank you.
I have on a little bit of something. I don't think you have makeup.
I don't have any makeup.
She has no makeup on.
And I'm 51.
And she's 51. And her skin is amazing.
Thank
so
you.
what we're going to do before we close this out, we need you to walk us through the skincare routine.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, she may do a little something extra once a month or twice a month or whatever, but just generally, hook us up, sis.
So, you know, thank you. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I literally just, because the light is like beaming, and I'm like, your pores are small. It's smooth. Like, your skin looks
I have my
amazing.
freckles, but, you know.
No, but freckles are
Thank
Walk
you.
us through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a matter of consistency and using the right products, right? So you have to cleanse morning and evening. I would say probably 80% of folks do not wash their face at night.
At night.
You know, we're so tired. We just want to get into bed. So we barely brush our teeth, you know, wash or whatever, and get into bed. And so it's important to cleanse our skin morning and night. In the mornings when you cleanse, vitamin C, a vitamin C serum is your best bet for like that glowing kind of skin. And it provides some protection. It does not replace sunscreen, but it does provide some protection. So I would say you cleanse, you tone, moisturize. Cleanse, tone, vitamin C serum, moisturizer, and sunscreen. Okay, for the day. And then in the evening, same cleanse, tone, and then whatever night serum you want to use. I use retinol because retinol is good for anti-aging. And then my moisturizer, and then I go to bed. So, you know, it's important to cleanse morning and night. It's important also when you do cleanse that you're actually cleansing for at least 60 seconds. Like, it's not just a quick, you know, okay, I wash my face, let me rinse it off. No. Cleanse in circular motions, move your fingers around for at least 60 seconds on your forehead, your cheeks, your chin, everywhere, even your neck, you know, a little bit right here, and then rinse it off.
Got it.
Okay. Also, double cleansing is important. So you cleanse, rinse it off, cleanse again, rinse it off, because you want to get the day off first. The pollutants, your makeup, you know, all those things.
And are you double cleansing even if it's a day where you didn't have any makeup on?
I do. Yeah. Because it's just habit at this point. But yeah, I would say it's important to double cleanse no matter what, if you're wearing makeup or not. Because even if you're not wearing makeup, again, you know, we're outside, we're in New Jersey. You know, there's a lot of pollutants outside.
Yes, it is.
You know, so you want to get that off. And then once that's off, that second cleanse will help with the pores, will help with the wrinkles, will help with, you know, the skin concerns or things that you're trying to solve for. So, yeah.
Tell them a bit about, you said you use a retinol, which I feel like I became familiar maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, because I didn't really know what that was or what it was for. And it was introduced in some capacity from a friend. And then I ended up getting a prescription to get tretinoin, which is a generic form of Retin A, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. So when I first started it, and they warned me that this would happen, but I'm glad I stayed the course, because I do feel like I see, you know, the benefits of it. But when I first started it, it basically purged my skin. So for probably like a good 6 months or so, because I'm not a huge, like, let's wear makeup just because we're leaving the house. Like, I always feel like if I, you know, do something with my lashes and brows, like, that could kind of make the face pop. And then I have like a tinted moisturizer. That's like my everyday face. But during this time, and it might be bad because if your face is purging, maybe you should just let it breathe. But I'm like, I can't go out the house like this. I can't go out the house like this. So I was wearing foundation like every day just because of how badly it purged. But when it finally kind of like healed, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, it's bringing back some of the smoothness and the youthfulness and sorry.
Being a mom.
Being a mom. And I had to appreciate what had just happened. I'm like, oh, I get it. So tell them a bit about, retin A's and retinol, I think they're slightly the same, but a little bit different.
They're all derivatives of vitamin A.
Yeah. What is it, and then what is it for?
So it's an exfoliant. So I know folks with acne, are often prescribed tretinoin. It's good for anti-aging, like getting rid of fine lines and wrinkles, because it's basically exfoliating your skin and just taking off the dead skin layer, and then allowing more collagen production and allowing that new skin to come forward. And then when that new skin comes forward, that's when you see the smoothness and the glow and things like that. But it is a process, like you said.
It is a process.
So I've had clients sometimes who have come, and then a few days later may see a few pimples, on their skin, and they'll say, oh, I had a reaction to what you used. That's not always the case. It's your skin purging, saying, oh, now I have some space to take, get these toxins out. Yeah. Let's get the toxins out, and then you see a smoother face after that.
Now, what are your thoughts on if someone is using it and then they kind of see the results that they want? I've heard of people going up in levels. So, like, for example, the prescription I got, I think it was like 0.025%.
Okay.
And you're supposed to use kind of like a dollop, and and that's plenty. Yeah. So I've heard of people, which I have not, but I'm curious, going up. So like instead of 0.025, or maybe it's not going up, going down. Basically,
getting
the
a stronger,
strength, right? Getting a stronger. So instead of 0.025, it might be 0.5. Right, 0.5. What is that? Is that really doing anything to actually go up, or is it kind of unnecessary? Like if you have it in any form, is that doing the trick? Yeah.
So I would say that a person for a prescription would have to speak to their doctor first.
Of course.
Okay. Right. But generally, if you go up in strength, let me take that back. I'm sorry. So even as an esthetician, I like to start off small. Okay. See how the skin reacts, and then build up from there. And the dermatologist will probably do the same thing. Start with a smaller dose, see how your skin reacts to it, and then build up. Because going from not using anything to like a 0.5 retinoin may have an adverse effect on your skin. So you want your skin to kind of get used to that treatment. So that's when they start with a smaller dose and then build up from there. Okay. So that's really the only purpose, I would say. I mean, I'm sure if the doctor may have other reasons, but generally that's why you start off small and then you work your way up to higher dosage. You may not need it, but you would have to talk to your dermatologist or to your esthetician to see, what works, what would work for you.
Got it. Okay. And it's something that I had not aggressively looked into, but I kept hearing about people kind of like increasing the strength. So I'm like, well, can it get better?
Yeah. Well, can it get better? Yeah. And I've told clients also when they buy products from me is, for example, with a retinol, use it every other night at first, and then build up to every night.
That's what I would read. If I had to turn back the hands of time, I would do that because when I got mine, I didn't use it every other night. Okay. I think I might have used it. Now, even though I was following the instructions and it was like a small amount, but I do think I was using it pretty much every night. Okay. And I think that was probably that was a lot. Yeah. So... Yeah. Especially if somebody cared. I don't know if you can prevent the purge, but in hindsight, I feel like I could have maybe prevented some of it or it being as strong if I kind of slow walked it a little bit. Right. So even maybe once a week, if there's nothing, because I had never done any sort of vitamin A, retinol, like nothing. Right. So to go from nothing to
every night, it
my
can be a lot.
If I show, and most people probably don't know because again I was wearing makeup, but I do have some pictures. One day I'll do like a transparency video and I'll walk through the whole process. My face, like it purged so much. It was just like, wow, this is high school all over again. Because I had acne in high school. I'm like, this is like high school, but all right. And then last on this subject, do you have any suggestions for? And even with me, I didn't go to a dermatologist. I think the first time around I used a service, to be honest, I can't remember the name of it. And the second time, there was a company called Curology. I think they're more popular.
Mm-hmm.
So is that pretty much the same thing as going to a dermatologist? If you can use one of these services where you take pictures of your face and or is there a benefit to going to an actual?
I think it's a growing trend in this day and age with technology. Now we have access to speak to doctors on camera.
Yes.
We don't necessarily have to go into the doctor's office anymore. Mm-hmm. You can get braces or the smile, the Invisalign type things. You don't have to go to the dentist for that anymore. You can just go to Smile Direct and take pictures, and they send you your shipment. So yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with using those kind of services. I would just advise that, maybe I'm old school, I don't know, but I would advise that I would suggest going to see someone in person, just to make sure that you're speaking to a bona fide dermatologist who's has their board licenses and certifications. I don't know who I'm talking to on one of those Curology sites or what have you. So yeah, I would say it's personal preference.
Gotcha.
Honestly.
Okay. And I think also the benefit of if you have an actual dermatologist now, if something is going wrong, kind of like halfway through you using the product, you have somebody you can call.
Yes.
And I do remember that. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think I could have reached out to the service, and I think they would have even maybe had suggestions like, oh, dial back or whatever. But to your point, there would not have been an opportunity for me to be like front and center.
Yes.
With someone so that I can ask these questions so that they can look at my skin, maybe even touch the skin. Yeah. That might matter sometimes.
For sure.
Actually touch it. So
absolutely.
All right. And so as we close out, I just wanted to first thank you for your time. It's a Saturday afternoon. It was beautiful out today, so I appreciate it that you even allowed me to come in and take up some of your time. And for Mr. Jason, we hope he has a wonderful game. Can you share with us something just as we kind of close out? If someone is interested in being an esthetician, or even if someone, let's say they're not interested in being an esthetician, but they are in their 20s right now, maybe even teens, what are some skincare tips that we want to leave them with so that when they become 30, 40, 50, they're not trying to repair, but maybe they already have like excellent habits? I think that's a good way to kind of close out. Like, what are some of those habits that we can leave with the audience? The younger part of the audience.
Cleanse morning and night. Change your pillowcases, at least maybe once a week, twice a week if you could. And sunscreen, whether it's summertime, wintertime, doesn't matter the time of year. It's very important to wear sunscreen, at least an SPF 50.
I was just about to ask. Strength level 50.
SPF 50. 30's been kind of the standard for a long time, but it's recently gone up to 50 now. Anything over 50 is kind of overkill.
Got it.
But yes, at least an SPF 50 because the UV light is around whether it's warm out, cold out, and as a matter of fact, in the winter when the sunlight bounces off of snow, that's even more harmful for your skin. So you want to make sure you're wearing that sunscreen year round.
Interesting. And what about, just as a follow-up, last question, for the SPF 50, I know I've seen SPF maybe 30 for like tinted moisturizers. I don't know if I've seen 50, but even if they have it, is that okay? Like that there's, because the tinted moisturizer is almost like a little bit of makeup, you know, in your, is that okay? Or does that somehow kind of like make it lose its strength?
It's okay if you're going, you're getting in your car to go to work, so you're exposed to the sun maybe 20 minutes during your commute. 30 is perfectly fine. But if you're spending extensive time outside, then you want to do 50 at least.
Gotcha. Okay. And whether or not the makeup is in there is kind of irrelevant. It's about the strength of it.
Right.
Got it. Okay. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Confessions of Being Fabulous. We wanted to do the Halloween edition because Halloween is right around the corner. This is going to be posted. This is about 5 or 6 days before Halloween. I'm going to post it on Halloween because I now post my interviews with other people the last day of the month. Still growing the channel, but for those of you that have tuned in before, you may have noticed interviews would be at the top of the month. Now I've decided to do them the last day of the month, so that's why I thought Halloween, that would be a perfect kind of way to celebrate the holiday.
For sure.
And then meet with someone. So thank you again, Miss Rita.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jason. He's left already, but we appreciate him, and we hope you tune in for the next one.
Happy Halloween!
I have a jingle that I go out on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm still gonna do it. I wish you lots of fun, laughter, abundance in your life. Peace.